going back to where the beach is near, the beer is dear, there's plenty of women out the crack. Walking
here we are in the final second, the whistle is gone, and Sligo Rovers are the champions.
By the riverside, it can match the tide as it flows.
No, I'm being told that Average Joe's does not have enough players and will be forfeiting the championship match.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Here he tries and drives it clean out over the fence. Out in there, he's the corner.
In the bookie shop, I done.
Okay, it's Ross, and here's the rugby review, and I'm really delighted to sit down here via Zoom and chat to Joshua Reeves. Josh, we're really looking forward to having you here in Sligo. Thanks for taking the time to chat to me today.
Absolutely, Ross, mate. No problem. Excited to have a chat to you and talk about my coming over to Sligo very soon. Very excited.
Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be a bit of a culture shock coming from Rio de Janeiro over to Sligo. How are you going to prepare for that?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. It's getting a little bit cold here at the moment. It's down to about 21, 22 degrees. So everyone's got their coats on already. I think getting over to Sligo, at least I get over there more or less just at the end of the summer, eh? So it shouldn't be too bad there. But no, really looking forward to it. You live in a place like in Brazil. I live in Sao Paulo, actually, in Sao Paulo, where it's 18 million people and massive amount of traffic and heaps of people, and so I'm really looking forward to getting somewhere where there's a few less people and you can make some good relationships with people and make some good connections, get to know everybody, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, good stuff. It's it's definitely a different pace of life over here than 18 million people, but it can seem a bit crazy in Sligo sometimes. But you'll get to see that for yourself soon enough. So listen, talk to me there. As you said, you're in camp with Brazil still at the moment. Talk us through camp and what's coming up with the World Cup qualifications.
Yeah. So that's it's pretty serious times at the moment. We're training pretty hard. We've just come off a hard week of training back this week, so the body's pretty sore. We've got basically 3 big games coming up for the South American leg of the World Cup qualifying. So the first challenge for us is to get past Paraguay, which we'd rate ourselves to do, but you've obviously got to take it seriously and do the business on the day. If we're able to beat them, then we go into a three-way tournament with ourselves, Uruguay, and the winner of Chile versus Colombia, which we're expecting will be Chile. So Brazil, Chile, and Uruguay would make up that 3-way comp. And
so this is all the South American. It's for World Cup qualification ultimately.
Yeah, for World Cup qualification 2023 in France. So the top 2 of that sort of three-way tournament there go through to play against the North American League of the qualification, which is USA and Canada. Basically, out of those 4 teams, 2 will go through to the World Cup, and the third one goes through the repechage. So, and the North American League of the qualifying probably happen in November. So, if all going well through this first part of the qualification, if we can get past Paraguay, get past Chile, then I'll have some more games for Brazil come November.
Okay, so 30 caps at the moment.
30 caps and a few more games. That's over a 4-year period. Played my first game for Brazil in 2017.
Yeah, you've been pretty much ever present since then playing for them.
Yeah. I think I've started every test match at fly half for them, bar one. I think bar one. We've got a young number 10, Lucas Spargo, coming through as well. So I've been sharing a bit of time with him over the last year or so. So it's been good.
Good stuff. And I know when with the boys, when we announced your signing, like a lot of the boys have seen those videos on YouTube, highlights there from the games against Canada. They were big moments for the club, for Brazil, the national team. Yeah,
massive moments. There's we had a couple of really big wins over the last 4 or 5 years. Back in 2016, they actually beat USA. That was before I was playing, which was a monumental win. Then we had a first win in Europe against Belgium in 2017, and then 2018 17, we beat Canada for the first time. We beat them again in 2019. So yeah, there's been a couple of sort of historic moments for us. We're the sort of team, we're very emotional guys, as you can imagine, Brazilians. And so it's not hard for this group to sort of get up for the really big matches. So you come up against Canada or USA or a Māori All Blacks. We played really well against them, Barbarians, and we really get up for those matches. So that's been pretty cool.
Cool. And just to take it back a little bit more, because obviously you're a New Zealander with that accent. How did you end up in Brazil?
Oh yeah, long old story. It's been a journey. I actually came over to Ireland and played. Believe it or not, I came over to play cricket in Ireland. I don't think you guys will believe that, but I came over to play cricket up in North Dublin. And from there, I got myself connected with Wanderers Club. So I played a season with Wanderers. Actually, the first year that Sligo was in the AIL, I played for Wanderers.
Oh.
And
how did the result go that day? Can you remember?
I actually wasn't. I had to go home for the first half of the season for a family issue. But I think Sligo won that day. Actually, maybe 13-3 or something like that. Good solid game. So hopefully we'll be repeating that result again this year. And I was lucky enough anyway. While I was there in Dublin, I was lucky enough to meet my now wife Anna, who's Brazilian, and we lived together a little bit in Dublin. Then she came to New Zealand with me for a couple of years, and then in 2014 we decided to move to Brazil. My rugby was going decent at the time in Christchurch, playing for Shirley Club, seniors over there, but sort of the writing was on the wall a bit for me in terms of my career there. It was guys like Richie Mwanga coming through at the club level there, and
yeah, he goes all right, doesn't he?
He goes all right. So I said, you can have the number 10 jersey there, Richie. I'll head off and see what I can do in Brazil. So and at the time the Crusaders had a partnership with the Brazilian Rugby Union in Brazil. Sort of high performance development. And so just through a few contacts, I learned a little bit more about how rugby was growing in Brazil. So I said it was a pretty good idea for us to head over. And been very lucky because the rugby has just grown so much in Brazil over the last 6 or 7 years while I've been here. And just right place, right time, really.
So you have a bit of a soft spot for Ireland, having met your wife over here.
Absolutely. Yeah, we both do. So I think I always had a feeling at some point that we would get to head back to Ireland. I've huge admiration for Irish rugby. I think the passion that people approach the game, the detail that people learn the game. It's people talk about how impressive it is that New Zealand is best rugby team in the world with only 4.5 million people, but Ireland being a top 5 team in the world, basically with a sort of similar population, but at the same time you're sort of dealing with the fact that it's not really the national sport. There's
no,
other
absolutely. It's probably third or fourth. Yeah. So like it's really remarkable what they're doing. And I suppose to circle on that for a second, what is it like being in a soccer mad nation? With soccer as life in Brazil. What kind of coverage was the game getting over there? Was it growing?
Yeah, it's growing. It's difficult because it almost doesn't really matter what sport you are in Brazil. If you're not football, then it's very difficult to get a lot of coverage. Even the other sports that are quite big sort of struggle for coverage compared to football. And there's a massive amount of coverage through ESPN, so a lot of coverage through ESPN. But in Brazil, to really gain popularity, you have to really get the free-to-air coverage, which is probably the similar story a lot of places around the world, isn't it? So whenever rugby's been able to get that free-to-air coverage, there's been a real boom effect. So one of them was obviously hosting the rugby in the Olympic Games in 2016. I think post 2016 there was a huge boom in rugby and uptake in rugby in Brazil. It's been difficult over the last year and a half, with the way things have gone with the pandemic, and everyone knows how much Brazil suffered throughout the pandemic. So I wouldn't say there's been too much growth or visibility, let's say, of rugby over the last year or so. But no, we'll get there. Qualifying for the World Cup will help.
And I suppose just we'll touch on the kind of relationship to Sligo, because I mean it was very kind of the way the doors opened up and came about that you came on Sligo's radar. So there is a Sligo connection. How we met. Simon Coulter was over in. Was it Uruguay or Chile? Was it Chile at the time?
Yeah, no, he was coaching S&C with Uruguay with their build up to the World Cup.
Yeah.
And I met him. This is back in 2019. So met him in 2019, and they were developing for the World Cup. We got on really well. Invited him to come and stay at my place in Sao Paulo for a couple of days if he was ever down in Brazil. I think a couple of months later he'd finished up his role with Uruguay.
You were telling me though, when you picked him up from the airport, he stood out a little bit.
Yeah, he was. He looked a bit hungover, and he was red as a prawn. So I said, mate,
it's easy to identify the paddy in the airport.
Yeah,
anyways.
I said, mate, let's get you home. Let's get you. He looked like he might not have eaten for a couple of days, so that was good. We got him home. We looked after him.
Yeah, and all fairness to Simon, he'd be one of the main reasons that I decided to come over to Sligo. He always spoke really highly about the place, about the people, about the club. We had a lot of good long talks about how much I'd enjoy it there. So yeah, fair play to him.
And from there, because I remember initially we asked Simon when we were looking for a prop, and we were looking all over the world trying to get a tight head prop in, and we'd asked Simon, and that's how you recommended Pedro to us.
Yeah.
And Pedro came over, and he's been fantastic, and I kind of feel for Pedro a bit. He's still here now, and he's coming back next season, but he only got to play about 3 or 4 games, so he really didn't get to see the full experience of Sligo. So we're really looking forward to seeing Pedro now, seeing what he can do next year, because he's really fit in with the boys, and he was, playing touch last week, and he's just such a big, gentle giant, very intelligent man. So he's just, as you said, you can see that kind of passion. He's a very passionate guy. So we're looking forward to seeing him now with a big preseason under his belt and getting stuck in. And then also from discussions with Pedro, then we came across Guilherme as well. And Guilherme came over, and same thing as well. He lit up the game against Buccaneers. He had a really good debut, and he was only getting started when the pandemic hit. So we're delighted to have Guy and Pedro back next year. So we're joking on the show next year saying you boys are going to be the 3 amigos. That'll be your nickname when you're over here. So
we'll be done.
Really nice for you to play alongside them 2 boys. It'll be good for you to link up with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, geez, I've a lot of time for both of them. Pedro, as you say, gentle giant, but great guy, good player on the field, big man, but really carries his body really well around the field. Good scrummager, but just a good bloke overall. So he'll be great to connect with him again. And Guy is fantastic. He just takes the game seriously and prepares his body really well and trains his skills excellently. And both of them spent 4 years in the Brazilian high performance program, full-time training for that, for a good 4 years. So they're both extremely well prepared to play well.
Yeah, and I suppose just we'll stay on Sligo. So I know you've already started reaching out to the players, building connections. You're really looking forward to getting stuck in, aren't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait. Actually, one of the main reasons that I was so excited to take the role with Sligo is just that sort of ambitious, exciting, energetic feel that I got from the club, got from you guys, and also talking to a lot of the players early on. Just a lot of them are saying really positive things about what we want to achieve this year already. So yeah, really looking forward to getting stuck in. But as you say, mostly looking forward to just building those relationships from the beginning. They all seem like really good guys. Absolutely love their rugby. Love their community, and it's going to be good fun.
No, it's going to be good. I know the players are looking forward to you coming over, and a lot of the older members of the club and the club members, and they're all asking about you, and they're all really looking forward to getting somebody into the family, because that's really what it is. Once we take people in, you're in. It's there's a lot of people that have come over to play for Sligo, and they've settled down over here. They've married into Sligo, and they're still here. So look, it's a real family club. As you said yourself, it's all about those connections. So we're really, really looking forward to having you over here, and here's hoping it's going to be a pretty successful season.
Fantastic. Yeah, mate, really looking forward to it. Can't wait to get over.
Yeah, all right, Josh. Listen, good man. We'll leave it at that. Okay. Thanks for your time, and we'll check in with you when you're getting in ready for them qualifiers and see how things are going. All right.
Cheers, Ross.
All right, good man. Take care.
I'm going back to where the beach is near, the beer is dear, there's plenty of women out the crack. Walking
Here we are in the final second. The whistle is gone, and Sligo Rovers are the champions.
By the riverside, you can watch the tide as it flows.
No, I'm being told that Average Joe's does not have enough players and will be forfeiting the championship match.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Very tight and drive it clean out over the stand. Out in the field, the corner. Jesus,
in the bookie shop.